Hi you guys, hello. This is Carol with Carol's Daily Sauce, and I have a guest on this evening. First of all, y'all, what do y'all think of this Tandy ponytail I got going on? I know a lot of people have been making, he's shaking his head. A lot of people have been making a lot of comments about the hairstyles that I've been doing with my braids. Thank you guys, thank you so much. They are heavy though, y'all. I'm ready to go back to my spring twist because this particular hair is really heavy. However, it is pretty. And you guys have convinced me that the light color looks really good on me. Anyway, I'd like to introduce to you all my dear heart. This is my husband. I refer to him as several names. I will be very professional on this evening in calling him Jax. That is what I call, that's one of the names that I call him, Jax, J-A-X. So, welcome Jax.
Thank you for having me.
Y'all, he is all about business, okay? Anyway, so we have a few questions. We had a lot of people that asked questions. Some of them I wasn't going to do. So this is a Q&A of how Carol and Will met, okay? So the first question I have is, where did we meet? You want to answer that one?
When we met at the library.
Met at the library, correct. Told y'all that.
Just one of those days, I just happened to be at the library, and thank God that she was there. I met her, and that's just history. At the library. It's an unusual place for people to meet.
Right.
You just happen to meet at the library.
Actually, I think that meeting at the library is really good. It's a lot better than meeting at a club or meeting somewhere else. I'm just going to say that. People have met their significant others at several different places, and what works for you works for you. The library is what works for us. He reads a lot, I read a lot. I don't know what he was doing, but I know that I was just taking care of some business. So that is how we met. And I've told you guys on more than one video about the conversation we had. He gave me this really cute compliment on a dress I had that my sister had given me, and from there, it went into a little bit further conversation. As I said, I was wounded back then. Actually, me and him both met each other somewhat of wounded. And what I mean when I say wounded, having been in relationships, that didn't just really work out for us. We honestly believe, and I don't want to take over the video because I can, y'all, this mouth, but don't you agree that me meeting you and you meeting me was a godsend? Do you agree with that? And I mean, you could tell your honest opinion. Yeah, I do. I mean, we're now at the point where we answer one another's questions, where when we discuss certain things, we already know the answer that the other one is going to have. And the reason being is because we're on one accord. We definitely are. We are a couple that stays together, prays together. We do everything together. Honestly and truly, there are very few times that you would see me without him and him without me. This is my very best friend, and I thank God for bringing him into my life. I really do. So, someone else, did we have a big wedding? And I'm going to answer that. We did not have a big wedding. We did not. When I first met him and the first conversation that we actually had on the phone, we did indicate from day one, first day talking, that we wanted to be married. We didn't necessarily know that we wanted to be married to one another. I don't know, because he was telling his friend, I got to get off the phone with you. I just seen my wife. Okay, right? Isn't that what you told your friend on the phone? So, but when we talked to one another on the phone later on that evening, what was impressive to me is when he said he was going to call, he called me. He really did. He called me. It's really wonderful. It's a beautiful thing because I literally fall in love with my husband every single day, with the highs, the lows, the good and the bad. And we've had a lot of things go on, a lot of attacks in our marriage. We are spiritual people. We believe in God. We love God. We serve God. And so there have been a lot of things that have went on toward our marriage, but we have survived it all. And so we just really thank God. So did we have a big wedding? Absolutely not. I wanted and was planning a really big wedding. And the reason I was planning a big wedding is because my first wedding, I had gotten married at the courthouse, right? So, and I got married young, so I wasn't really into going to Vegas. So no, he and I didn't have a big wedding. We lived in a house at one time that we wanted to get married in, but we ended up moving from out of that house, and that changed. And him and I, Jax and I, have actually been together for a total of 8 years. We've only been married this March 5 years. Am I saying that's forever? No, I'm not saying that's forever. So please don't come for me, because I've had people say, well, this can happen to you, da da da. Having been a divorcee once, as well as him, we know for a fact things can happen, but we also know the God that we serve. So we ended up eloping. I have never told anyone. We actually eloped. There was so much mess going on with family members, children. We made up our mind one day after he got off work that we were going to go ahead, take our money. I made the arrangements over the phone and online, drove to Vegas. We just left on a weekend trip and we got married. And when I tell you, it was the best thing ever, y'all, it was so fun. First of all, I'm somebody who lives in the state of California. I've only been to Vegas 3 times in my entire life. So having went there, to get married, I went a couple of other times for situations that were not as pleasing and comfortable. But anyway, I love Vegas. Vegas is a really a nice place. And we had a ball, you guys. I mean, really, literally, a chauffeur came and picked us up in a limousine. I got to get dressed. And let me tell you guys what I wore. All I wore was a black skirt. It was a little lace skirt and a little peplum top. And I had on these nice, simple black pumps. And I wore my fro. And I wore this nice pearl jewelry. And this lady, because the peplum top was like an off-white. And the lady looked and she went, oh my God, you look so beautiful. Your earrings are pretty and everything. So we actually eloped. And we got some stuff coming up. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, is there anything that you would like to say about the wedding?
No, I think it was, we wasn't traditional. We wore, basically we were just comfortable and had fun that whole weekend. And
we did.
It was good to make it official.
That's right, babe. I have always, and you guys know what? The Bible tells us to speak those things as though they were. And I have always wanted to see my husband in I call him my vanilla man. I do. And so I've always wanted to see him in a vanilla tuxedo with the tails. And I'm going to. I always have wanted to, because I think, I'm sure you guys think, and you don't have to put it in the comments, that my husband is very handsome. And even if you do or you don't, it doesn't matter to me. That's why he's my husband. Okay? So if I don't stop saying that, okay? Because that's so sarcastic. Okay. This one right here really got me. And the reality and the answer in this question is, this is real life. Is there anything that you would change about one another?
You know, it's an easy question. We can have a list of stuff that we don't like, but I don't think you're fine the way you are. You know, everybody has their. I mean, if I look at it like this, if, you know, I'm not. You know, I have my ways, and if you can deal with me in my ways, and I can deal with yours, and we can work on making each other, making each other better, and that's what we go by.
We're a team, y'all. This is straight up.
I don't like. So
this is straight up Team Jackson. Now, me on the other hand, is there anything that I would change about him? Once again, I love him for who he is. There are things that he does, as well as things that I do, that are not what I would probably do. Or, for instance, I guess that would be the easiest thing for me to say. My husband don't play getting woke up in the morning at all. It's a different story when he has to go to work. But when he is sleeping, relaxing in the morning on the weekend, he wants to be able to sleep and relax on the weekend. I'm up at the crack of dawn, farting around, messing with papers, filming, asking questions. Am I telling you the truth? And it's very annoying to him. So if there were one thing that I could change, that would probably be the only thing that I would change about myself, that I would be a little bit more considerate about and for him when he's sleeping on the weekends. Because even if I go in another room, there are other people in the house that are sleeping that, you know, aren't necessarily early risers. So I need to be considerate in that. But changing anything about him? Nope. I think that he is an amazing guy, and I thank God that he's mine. This one was a good one. Someone asked, were we Christians when we met one another? Were we Christians when we met one another?
We were. We just were not in a church at the time or a member. I was just moving from Oakland. And so we were both kind of looking for a church, you know, kind of get back spiritually, foundation where we needed to be, you know. And so we didn't want to just go to the biggest church that we could find, and, you know, the most popular church or biggest church. We just wanted to go where we could, you know, hear the word and get taught and kind of build up our spirits
and grow spiritually.
And so one day I was just kind of at the gas station and I saw a flyer had, you know, this brother on it. You know, I'm all about brothers are doing things. I like to be a part of it and get together, you know, and see what's going on. And so I saw this, you know, brother on this flyer, and I, you know, said he was from this church on Jackson Street, on Webster Street, and I think it was George Jackson.
It was Jackson.
It's Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So me being a Jackson, that caught my attention, and so I said, you know,
anything Jackson. Jackson restaurant, Jackson shoes. We just ordered him some Jackson boots. Y'all, he is Power Pro Jackson.
Team Jackson.
Team Jackson. Team Jackson. And the thing about it, I got in there real good, y'all, because I married him and he is a Jackson, but I was born a Jackson. So, and no, we're not kin. I like to always put that out there. Now, I want to answer the question about were we practicing faith? We were Christians. But for me personally, I have to be honest and tell you that I was in a backslidden state. However, we did go to church. We did. I went to church with my sister. Sometimes he went with me, sometimes he didn't. But all of that changed when we found our church home. We unfortunately were going through a lot of stuff. And you know what? I am so thankful to God that my husband and I don't look anything like anything that we've been through. Because, you know, honestly and truly, I don't know if any of you all out there are spiritual or not. So if you're not, you might not find this interesting at all. or you might not even understand it, but I remember someone saying last year that, or a couple of years ago, that if we could see a person in the spirit, if we could see someone spiritually, how would they look? Not in our physical fleshly selves, not, not this man right here, these glasses and his handsomeness, not this, and not this woman with this, made up face and my tiny ponytail and all that, but seeing the inner spirit of a person. We would have been crawling, probably looking like this, not from not eating, but just being so broken, because we've been there. We've been there. That's a part of our testimony, I believe, individually as well as collectively. Him and I came to one another in somewhat of a broken state. And instead of it going the north and the south, instead of it went east and west, and then came all the way around and became Team Jack. So I thank God for that. Any advice? Somebody asked me this, and advice to single men or single women. And then I got another one. Do you recommend dating? Okay. Did you want to?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I can't speak of the advice on a man. I don't disrespect men like that. I'm not a man, I'm a woman. So dating is good when you are not married. However, dating leads to other things that I don't practice in my Christian faith. Now, there were some situations that I found myself in when him and I were dating. I'm not just saying this because we're now married. Not at all. I'm not. I'm just saying that you have to be wise in your dating. You do. You have to be wise in your dating. The enemy is busy, and he'll bring all kind of bucket heads to you. Honey, I've always said it, all kind of bucket heads, and you could be one as a woman. This can go for men and women. So when you do date, just don't place yourself in situations that are unfavorable. Don't put yourself in situations where you may have a hard time getting out of. That would be my only advice to dating. Let's see. Blended family. We had kind of a rough time trying to blend our families together. However, we're pretty good now. In-laws. Excuse me, y'all. We don't have a problem with that. He loves my in-laws. I love his in-laws, or vice versa. Y'all know what I mean. We don't too much have a problem with that. I think, one of the biggest problems him and I probably had when we did come together was the way our children were raised differently. That's probably it. And who am I to say his way was wrong, and who is he to say my way was wrong? Because I wasn't raised by his mother, neither was he raised by mine, and we were both raised for some time in our life in a single parent home. However, his parents were high school sweethearts. They were so cute. So that's it, you guys, for our Q&A. I didn't have very many questions, and there were some that were submitted that I just wasn't going to touch with the wiffle ball bat, because you don't open a can of worms. I just want that we are very grateful for the fact that you all listen, view our videos, listen to our audio, and things like that. The comment section is there just for that, for you to put comments and things in them. If there's something that you'd like for him and I to do. I mean, my husband is very quiet. So challenges and stuff, I'm gonna tell you right now, that hot chip, he probably is not gonna do it. So, I mean, you could try. Literally, you guys, I went, was it around Thanksgiving? I went to the store in Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving. Y'all, they had that, that chip, the Pocky chip? The world's hottest chip. They had, was it chocolate or was it noodles? Remember I wanted to buy that?
Yeah.
And I said, it was potato chip. No, it wasn't potato chip. It was noodles, and I wanted to buy it. It was two different kinds. It was a cheese one and another one. And I said, we can do a video. He was not trying to do that. I think he does deserve a round of applause for doing this Q&A, because he didn't have to do that. So I appreciate him for doing that. A lot of men don't care to be in the camera. They really, really don't. And I don't want mine in the camera like that all the time. But go ahead and put in the comment section some questions that you might have, some things that you may like for us to do. It is Carol's Daily Sauce, but Carol's Daily Sauce is also Jack's, because we are one. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. We love you. Bye-bye. I'm back, you guys. I just need for you guys to be on the lookout for a chicken and waffle mukbang. He did say he would do a chicken and waffle mukbang, because you know what? He loves to eat. So we will be doing that, you guys. Thank you. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye. Again.